Happy Saturday, fellow human beings of planet Earth. I hope you're having a wonderful day, even if it's not Saturday where you are, but it's Saturday right now. And greetings from Long Beach. They're having a bicycle race outside, so if you hear some hooting and hollering, it's not because what I'm saying is necessarily that awesome, but it's because there's people racing on bicycles. And for me, the house is clean and Mingo's worked out to demolish the little buildings into big buildings. The Russian kettlebells are magical things. Those Russians sure know how to kick your ass. So yes, that brings me into the topic today, which is very near and dear to my heart. It is literally, this information makes the difference every single day between I spend the hours in relative joy and happiness or whether or not that day will be relative excruciating misery. And I'm talking about migraine headaches. Yes, many people suffer from migraine headaches, and it's a very frustrating condition because some people think they're just regular headaches, just a bad headache, and medical science doesn't have, frankly, anything at all to offer, which is one of the reasons why I don't hold that entire establishment in very high esteem, because I have had the great fortune throughout life of spending most of my days and months and years in relative uh, good health, apart from migraines. I rarely, knock on wood, I don't often get sick. Infectious diseases seem to bounce off me most of the time, and even when I do get sick, I can get over it pretty quickly. But since I was about 13 years old, I remember I was playing a video game on the computer, EverQuest, and I remember my vision started to go a little weird. And otherwise I have normal good vision, but it's just like you start to go blind, and it's kind of scary when you first have a migraine because you can't see a damn thing. It's just like you can see, but it's really messed up. It's like, what the hell is happening to me? Do I have brain cancer? Like, what is going on? And it leads into a extremely powerful throbbing headache. Basically, the vision for people who get the migraines with auras, your vision just disappears, and there's this tension behind your eyeballs, and it really hurts. And once eventually that aura, as they call it, subsides, then this unbelievably maniacally painful, terrorizing headache comes in the wake of that. And for many years, especially, there was nausea too. I mean, I'd be down for the count for that entire day, and for several days after. Sometimes I'd have lingering effects, like if I just tapped my head, it was like, ow, like my brain was really sensitive. And this continued for pretty much over a decade. Pretty much, I'll be turning 27 in a few days now, I guess, and I feel like I've really only in the last year gained mastery over the migraines, and I feel very compelled. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. Just certain other things popped to mind, and today is the day. So I'm going to help anybody who gets migraines wake up to what's going on, and hopefully this information can help you if you're a sufferer from migraines, or somebody who suffers from migraines, to hopefully at least make them more frequent, if not, get rid of them. Again, knock on wood, I don't like to play with absolute statements, but in general, it's months and months and months and months, and if I get a migraine now, I know exactly what caused it. It's like, oh, damn it, that I forgot to say no MSG in the Chinese food, and but even then, it'll be really weak. It won't be that terrorizing, evil, just apocalyptic migraine. It'll be something relatively short-lived, and I'll just drink a lot of water and take some supplements, and I'll be good. And that leads me into the specific useful information for you, the migraine sufferer, or the person who knows a migraine sufferer. There's certain supplements that will benefit, in my experience. I have never taken any pharmaceutical whatsoever. I have been given them by my doctor. For Imitrex, garbage. Everything they make for migraines from Big Pharma is just garbage. So none of the drugs, in my experience, worked at all. Some people shoot Botox into their face, and that works for them. I think that's kind of an extreme measure. I don't necessarily feel like Botox injections are a rational response to something that the body is naturally causing and producing. And what I've learned is that migraines actually are an evolutionary adaptation. They have allowed me, they are my warning signal, my body's warning signal to tell me, this shit is bad. We don't want this in our body. Like, this is not helping us. And it was really difficult for years and years and years because there's so many things that can cause migraine. We live in a toxic stew culture where, fast food and there's polluted air and polluted water, and, nobody really, when I was a kid, knew anything about nutrition except for protein and carbs, like, macronutrients, like, but as far as really like life force, about probiotics and things like that, nobody really knew. I mean, I was born with a certain heart condition, so every single time I went to the dentist or the orthodontist when I had braces and everything, every single time, no matter what they were doing, if they're just looking at my teeth, they give me a handful of antibiotics, of amoxicillin, saying, take these, because there's bacteria in your mouth, and if it gets in your bloodstream while they're doing something, it can go to your heart and kill you. Okay, and that sounds like a rational thing to try and avoid, except not when you factor in the consequences of taking a handful of antibiotics on a regular basis to treat a symptom that doesn't even exist. You're basically, what the doctors did is wreaked absolute genocide on my gut flora by giving me all those antibiotics. And in my personal opinion, that is actually the direct cause of the migraines that I had for so many years, is the antibiotics that were given to me by my doctors when I was a kid, because they were afraid for legal liability. This has nothing to do with medical, like true sound medical science. It's a legal liability that they didn't want to take. So they, instead of take the chance of some random probiotic, like bacteria in my mouth, like getting to my heart, like they decided to basically just come in like Pol Pot in Cambodia or Hitler and just basically kill everything with antibiotics. And, this, again, I don't blame my parents for this. I blame the doctors. I absolutely do blame the doctors for the migraines that I've experienced for 10 years. And here's basically this is my story. Listen up, here's the story about a boy who took antibiotics and ate a whole lot of cheese. Every day it was just cheese. He ate other things, but sometimes it was just cheese. All right, so that leads me into the main point here that people are really going to find hard to stomach, because I did. It was extremely hard for me to recognize, but one of the absolute main prime causes of migraines is dairy, his cheese. That's right. I've mentioned it in previous videos. I loved cheese more than you. Absolutely, I know how much you love cheese. I loved it more. I was absolutely madly in love with the stuff. It was like literally an addictive thing for me. I would just get high off of cheese. I'd eat just whole block of it. And it was actually Space Panther. Hey, Hooch, he's getting a little vocal. I think he wants to go outside. Hang on, little buddy. But basically, dairy is extremely destructive for the digestive tract. And this is the theme that I'm going to be elucidating, is it happens in the gut. Migraines don't happen up here. This is a second order effect. Effect, cause, okay? First, second, right? The gut is the origin of migraines, and that's what I've learned. I can't say with any certainty that all migraines are created equal, all of them are the same, but every single therapy and supplement and modality of healing that seemed to really improve the condition and lessen the migraines in both frequency and intensity was focused on remediating the gut. Okay, so fish oil, beneficial omega fatty acids, it doesn't have to be fish oil, there are plant-based oils, flax oil, hemp oil, there's you can eat chia seeds, you can put these in your smoothie. The healthy fatty acids, the omega fatty acids, very key for rejuvenating all the stomach linings, all those cell walls, and absorbing, surfaces inside the body that absorb all the nutrients. Cheese will clog that shit up, okay? Basically, all the dairy, get rid of it, okay? Find a way to do coconut milk. It's way better than regular milk anyway. I didn't like even milk as a kid, but I loved cheese. It's that saltiness. I know there are vegan cheeses. I don't necessarily eat them. Space Panther likes them, but once I got off the cheese, this was actually before I became a vegan, as I ditched the cheese in an attempt to prevent the migraines. And the reason I never went back to cheese is because it worked. Okay, cheese was 80% reduction from cutting out the just cheese in my diet and all this disgusting dairy. And once I realized that that's what was happening, that it was causing these problems and it was giving me all this pain, this excruciating pain. I mean, I've had migraines that I've cried out for death, okay? It's that bad. I wanted to fucking die because this was so painful. And so when people tell me about how awesome the medical establishment is and how, natural healing and natural cures and nutrition as medicine, is bunk, I have no respect for that type of attitude at this point. I'm trying to give truth to people because that truth is what worked for me. Okay, so the beneficial fatty acids are one thing. You got to get rid of the dairy. Another way, magnesium. Magnesium, most people are deficient in magnesium, and magnesium really helps the function of the nervous system and the digestive system. If you have a lot of muscle tension that can lead to migraines, magnesium will calm the muscles down. You don't need pharmaceutical muscle relaxers, just take magnesium, okay? Everything you need is at the supplement store. Like, unless you've got some serious condition that needs absolute acute medical help, that's when drugs can be useful. But in general, if you've got a chronic condition, get the fuck away from the hospital. They're not going to help you. They didn't help me. And I only helped myself when I started to really understand and do my research of what is going on in the body and what is causing these things. So, giving up the dairy, magnesium, healthy fatty acids. There are certain herbs that can help reduce the frequency and intensity of migraines. Feverfew is one, spelled just like it sounds, feverfew, okay? Butterbur, again, butter, B-U-R, is another great herb that works. B vitamins, especially vitamin B2, which is riboflavin, that's another one. Supplement stores will sell often migraine kind of blends with a lot of these things together. Sometimes they can be a little expensive, so if feverfew on its own, super cheap. Get some feverfew, magnesium, some fish oil or flax oil, some sort of healthy plant oils, and ultimately reduce the dairy as much as possible. Get away from also all kinds of synthetic sweeteners and MSG. MSG they put in virtually all the fast food. They put it in all those ramen noodle packets. It's garbage. It tricks the brain and it causes all kinds of bad reactions in the body. So get rid of the MSG. If you're gonna eat Asian food, just make sure, hey, by the way, no MSG on that, please. And that's all it takes. A lot of places don't even put it in there anymore because most people don't prefer it. But the cheaper Chinese places, they absolutely will. Be aware of that. Basically, between the herbs and the magnesium and the B vitamins and eliminating the triggers like the dairy and the MSG and all that stuff, you can rebuild the digestive tract. And the one thing that brought it all home, the slam dunk that knocked it out of the park, I guess that's a disjointed sports analogy, but I don't really give a shit. I'm a tennis player. And the one thing see how excited I am? I drank juice this morning that Panther made. I'm fired up right now. But the one thing that really knocked it out of the park was probiotics, was waking up in the morning and drinking a kombucha, which is a fermented tea that's super beneficial for the gut. Apple cider vinegar is another one. Mix a little bit of that in water. Some people do shots. It's a little intense for me, but a little mixed in water, diluted enough. I don't think it tastes that bad. And shit, even when you got like a hangover or your stomach is on fire, take some apple cider vinegar and water. It'll alkalinize the body, which helps the lymph move around. It's got probiotics that again are going to be helpful for the gut. Okay, and then they got probiotics in capsules. They got it in powder. There's yogurt. Again, try for like the non-dairy yogurts. Yogurt, yes, among all the forms of dairy, yogurt is going to be the most beneficial for your body, but it's still, these dairy proteins are too big for the body to absorb. They're acidifying. It gunks up the digestive system with all this sludge. And once you start to feel awesome and you are free from these migraines and you can actually just enjoy each day, not like afraid of one that's going to come and hit you. It's traumatizing to live in fear of migraines. It sucks. It really does. I really hope that people find this information who suffer from migraines. because life is great without them. And all it really comes down to is recognizing that your second brain, this one right here, is what is the prime cause of the migraines. That is my honest appraisal of what I've learned. And yeah, the herbs, magnesium, B vitamins, but most of all probiotics, and ditch the dairy. Get rid of things that are harmful for your digestive system. Bring in the sauerkraut, bring in the kimchi, apple cider vinegar, kombucha, whatever it takes. Probiotics in capsules and powder. That's what's gonna do it. Okay, that's what did it for me, and I really hope that this information benefits you. So much love, wholeness and balance, my brothers and sisters, and top of the morning to you.